She stopped explaining, and somehow the world grew louder, not with voices but with the truth that no one wanted to hear. The room did not change, the faces did not change, yet everything felt different. Her silence stood in the air like a quiet storm, and for the first time people felt the weight of their own words. She was always known as the kind one, the one who listened, the one who understood, the one who forgave too easily. In every conversation, she made space for others. She lowered her voice so others could feel louder. She smiled even when the smile felt heavy. People talked over her. They interrupted her. They ignored her. And still, she stayed gentle. She believed that love was proven by patience, that understanding meant always responding, that peace meant avoiding silence. But every night when she returned home, the quiet felt different. Not peaceful, just empty. Her phone lay beside her bed, face down. No missed calls, only messages she had sent and erased. And a question she could not escape echoed in her mind. If I stop speaking, will anyone notice I am gone? One afternoon, a familiar argument filled the air. Voices moved fast. Accusations, assumptions, the same old rhythm. They waited for her to respond. They always did. They expected her to soften the moment, to smooth the sharp edges, to explain herself once again. But she did nothing. She simply looked, and then she said nothing. At first they laughed, thinking it was a joke. Then they grew uncomfortable. Why are you quiet? Are you angry? Say something. But she didn't. She sat there, hands still, eyes calm, breath slow. Their voices began to stumble. Words fell over each other. Explanations rushed in to fill the space she had left. For the first time, they heard themselves. Days passed and her silence continued. She no longer defended herself, no longer corrected misunderstandings, no longer tried to be seen. She simply became still. In meetings, her chair remained empty of words. In conversations, she became a listener again, but a different kind. Not someone who absorbed everything, but someone who observed. And people around her began to change. They softened their tone when speaking to her. They chose their words more carefully. They began to ask, instead of assume. Her quiet had become a mirror, and no one liked the reflection at first. But silence is not easy. At night, doubt returned. Her mind replayed times she should have spoken, jokes she let pass, messages left unsent, truths swallowed whole. Loneliness wrapped around her like a familiar coat. The world had grown quieter, but inside her, a storm was forming. What if they forget me? What if silence is just another way to disappear? She watched herself in the mirror, the same face but different eyes. Tired, still, waiting. Even the walls seemed to hold their breath, and for the first time she wondered, was her silence courage or just another kind of fear? The weight became too heavy. She walked outside, letting the cool air touch her skin. The city around her moved on like she did not exist. Footsteps, car lights, distant voices. No one stopped, no one noticed. And in that moment, she fully broke. Tears came quietly, without sound, and the world kept moving. She found herself on a small bench in a quiet park. Leaves moved gently above her. A soft breeze whispered through the trees. Nearby, an older woman sat, feeding birds from her hand. No words, no questions, just presence. Minutes passed. Then the woman spoke softly. "You are very loud today." She looked up, confused. "But you have not said a single word." Her breath caught. The woman smiled. "Silence is not empty," she said. "It is where the real voice begins." And in that moment, everything became clear. She had not gone silent to disappear. She had gone silent to finally hear herself. All her life, she had been pouring her voice into others. Now she was learning to listen to her own. The wind brushed her cheeks, drying her tears, and for the first time in a long time, she felt safe inside her own quiet. From that day on, her silence changed. It was no longer heavy. It was powerful. She spoke only when her words carried truth. She listened with intention, not obligation. She chose when to be heard. And because her words became rare, they became valuable. People leaned in when she spoke. They paid attention to her presence. They respected the space she carried. The same people who once talked over her now slowed down in her company. They began to reflect, to grow, to soften. Not because she demanded respect, but because her silence had taught them how to respect themselves. The world around her had not magically changed, but she had, and that made all the difference. One evening, she sat by her window. The sky painted itself in soft orange and blue. The world outside was loud, but her room was still. The same stillness that once felt empty now felt full of clarity, full of strength, full of self. She did not need to speak to be heard. She did not need to explain to be understood. She simply existed, and that was finally enough. She let her silence work, and in that silence, both she and the world found peace. When the voice grows quiet, the truth becomes clear. Follow for more English stories that calm your mind and awaken your soul.